Hey there, thank you for joining me at Hippie Eclectic Hope Videos. I'm Sherry Kirchhoff, and yeah, I appreciate you visiting again. Please remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already, because props like that are super important. So today's video, I'm basically covering an article that I've written on my new Patreon site, because, well, frankly, I'm not sure if written articles or videos are the best medium with which to discuss my thoughts on Andrew Yang and his campaign. And my perspective on the campaign, being somebody who's always been under the poverty line, I have a unique perspective on what Andrew Yang's trying to save us from. So anyways, I will be posting links to my Patreon site and to this article specifically, and to my Simple Sites website, because I've been catching some really good compliments. I appreciate you. On my Math Dana. See, this style isn't going to be available because it's not washable. I've improved the design a lot. But, the lettering is now embroidered rather than, glittered. And so you can hand wash it. And, in addition to, see, displaying math, these sewn ones you can flip and show like Yang or UBI. So they're reversible, which I can't do with this model. So much improved design can be found, elsewhere on my Patreon tiers, or on my Simple Sites direct shop. So I will post those links to, in the description here. So thanks again for visiting. I'm gonna continue on here with my article entitled "In Preparation of Yang-ness." I'm gonna focus here on the utopia that's coming, because I've been focusing too much on what Andrew Yang's trying to stop, and I haven't had enough time to talk about the good things that are coming. So let's get rolling here. In preparation of Yang-ness. Let's do a time warp. President Andrew Yang was elected in the largest landslide victory that the United States of America will probably ever see. He then fought Congress. He fought lobbyists. President Yang even fought and won the Yang media blackout. You can see him on YouTube anytime you want. So, after all that, it's finally Freedom Dividend Day. I know that I'll soon be receiving $1,000 a month in addition to my Section 8 housing, my Medicare, my preschool funding, and my son's disability if they approve him by then. They darn well better not illegally deny him too, after everything we've been through and everything that Aaron's trying to overcome. But, at least Aaron's still young yet. He has the potential to recover, where, I'm allegedly not disabled because I've been lucky enough to work a couple few abusive jobs for a paycheck that wasn't even guaranteed. Being forced to work and not getting a paycheck. That's, how it works in some places. But hopefully by 2021, I'll be making financial headway on YouTube or Patreon or my new online shop home at Simple Sites. So I'll be posting links, and anyone who sees my welcome photo on my Simple Sites will recognize the special shout out to Grassroots Yang Gang, because you guys are epic. I love you guys. And you're just such an inspiration going around and discussing Andrew Yang with the masses. So I appreciate you guys so much. And, and all the other Yang Gang family and all my other Twitter family. I didn't know that such amazing people existed before I got on Twitter. You guys are epic. And, or before finding Yang Gang. I mean, just amazing, humane beings coming out of the woodwork. It's just, so by the time 2021 rolls around, thanks to, support from you people online. I love you guys and my Twitter family, and, so, in the next year and a half, hopefully I'll almost definitely be able to get my son, our companion cat, and myself somewhere cheaper than Denver and far away from the abusive former owner. Get us safe, get us away from all that. And, there are many areas around the United States where the cost of living is much lower than it is in Denver Metro, Colorado. I'd be able to find a small town with good schools for Aaron, a lot more, one-on-one, a smaller ratio of kids to teachers. And, in cheaper rent, my 2-bedroom apartment here costs $1,400 a month. I'd be living in my car if it weren't for Section 8. But, these smaller towns would be great under President Yang's system, because I'm not too concerned about job prospects. I'm not looking for a rats of federally guaranteed job, Comrade Sanders. It would be a bonus to find a community with a strong farmers and flea market presence so I could set up a jewelry table. The best part about all this, I won't lose my freedom dividend money equal to my product sales prices, and I won't be eating my business expenses. That's how the welfare trap keeps us trapped. You try and build anything, and every dollar you make gets taken away on the first of the month. So it'd be easier to guarantee the payment of rent, since the landlord already knows I'll be receiving the freedom dividend and be getting my own small arts and crafts business. I won't need window dressings, I won't need to buy curtains for my home, because I'll be hanging bed linens that are all hippied up with my jewelry and Yang-ness. I'll have other clothing and accessories available in the next year and a half too, I hope. Shoot. And I probably even build my business with Andrew Yang's system to where I could eventually sell craft and hobby supplies in a little store kiosk inside a closing mall. Make and sell my products while selling supplies and crafted items on consignment for other local crafters. Shelf space for you. And, competing with Amazon. How about that, you guys? My favorite old craft shops in my own town of origin closed down when their suppliers switched to dealing exclusively with Amazon, Walmart, and the other big conglomerates. It freaking sucks. But meanwhile, with President Yang, it'll be easier to open my brick-and-mortar hippie eclectic hope store with the American Malls Act. And then, with my arts and crafts products, with my supplies, with other artists and their work on consignment, I can help undo some of the damage to the communities that are shutting down. I'm so just sad at what happened to the Heritage Mall, what it's known as in my town of origin. But hopefully, I'll be able to see you soon at the old Herbergers. Anyone remember Herbergers? It's a nice clothing shop. But I bought my prom dress there many, many years ago, and many, many wrinkles ago. But it wouldn't be half bad to return to one of the better small towns I used to live in. And I'd be able to, with President Yang's system. Meanwhile, with anyone else taking over office, I would have to stay in this big city and compete with able-bodied workers with a federally guaranteed job. I can't. I'm sorry, but I'm not capable of that anymore. President Yang has given such a better perspective, such a better potential. I'll be able to run my own thriving business in an area that needs rejuvenation instead of a big city that's already full of people, and I'll be able to assist other local artists with their entrepreneurial endeavors. They'll get in on my online stores too, so this will work amazingly well for all of us. And as Hippie Eclectic Hope continues to expand under this system, I'll be able to divert more and more of my revenue to help out local charitable causes. I just found these ways, how to work on YouTube, Patreon, or online shops just a little while ago since coming to Twitter in June. I absolutely love my Twitter family. We're all in this together. And, this is what President Yang is trying to foster in us, that spirit of joint cooperation for joint growth. What a weird freaking concept, huh? It's like playing Donkey Kong Country cooperatively instead of competitively. Here it is, guys. But that's only my sprout like a bean plant story. There are a lot of other people and families who have clever ideas of how to utilize their freedom dividend to become entrepreneurs. And they have a lot fewer limitations than I freaking do. Imagine all the family businesses that open up all over our small towns and big cities under President Yang's system. Nana's restaurants, Mom's dry cleaner and tailor, Dad's woodworking, mechanics, so many new hairstylists and beauticians, interior decorators. People are going to be able to get into the community college courses, and they're going to be able to get licensed to run like a daycare out of their home. It'll knock out the child care shortage. Licensed care providers who will, they'll have an easy time scoring clients too, because they'll be incentivized to work with President Yang's universal preschool policy. Daycare workers aren't going to have to compete. It's going to be, and parents aren't going to have to give half their paycheck to the daycare. This is going to be amazing. None of us have any idea of how people are going to be able to flourish under President Yang's system, because this is so revolutionary that it just boggles the mind. Nobody has any idea except those of us who are coming up with these nifty little ideas, So, and besides, what it's going to do for people like us who are trying and who have hopes, dreams, and ambitions, imagine what it's going to do for the homeless community. Have you ever seen the homeless homies with their cardboard signs? I've been one of them from time to time, being disabled. So, be nice to these folks, please. Even the junkies, we never know what circumstances caused them to completely give up and resort to feeding an addiction. My dad crawled deeper and deeper into a bottle after decades of domestic abuse and what he faced in the Army. I'm amazed he was able to maintain employment. I mean, that 30th time in a year you show up drunk. I mean, goodbye, sir, goodbye. With all the love in the universe, I wouldn't have hired my own dad for nothing. He's a sweetheart, but he's a drunk. And, that's what happens when you give up hope. You don't have any self-perceived reason to maintain yourself. You have hope in finding comfort until you don't have to anymore. And too many people get trapped in that. These cardboard flyers and these people who don't have hope, flying a cardboard flag, you're going to have to quit that when Andrew Yang's elected. After the first 30 people yell out their car window, "Hey, what you spend your $1,000 on already? Try and do better next month, eh?" The bakers are going to have to find a new hobby in a hurry. I finally found out a little bit about how online entrepreneurship works. And you can see how new I am at this and how uncomfortable I am trying to make a video. Public speaking terrifies me straight up. And so, I'm sorry for not trying this years and years ago, but, frankly, I was terrified. I didn't know where to begin, and I didn't have anything to even build on. I'm finally had a little something in the tail end of January when Operation Freedom 32 was finally able to begin. I've been clocking up numbers for every year I'm on this rock, and 32 did it. Freaking A. But, this little tidbit here coming up is even better for the homeless and civilian relationships. All those NIMBYs, not in my backyard. Well, they're not going to have to be in your backyard anymore. Homeless people commit crimes at such an alarming rate because it's so hard to make a legitimate income when you have no foundation. when you don't have an address, you're not going to get a job. You know, but with President Yang's policies, homelessness is going to drop greatly. You know, nobody camps alone out here. It's death to do it by yourself without backup. Yeah, I was homeless and pregnant, and even being pregnant, people see me as a target, not as someone to protect. It was scary. You know, I could have died many, many times if I didn't have backup. And so, you know, 3 or 4 people are going to pool their resources and share an apartment with Freedom Dividend and Medicare for All and everything. We're going to be able to, you know, and these people who are pooling their resources and getting a new apartment, they're not going to have to resort to cooking meth or growing 999 pot plants in a closet, as we see so often on the news. You know, these people getting into their new housing are going to stay legal, because the criminal idiot losers are going to lose their freedom dividend when they're in jail or prison. You know, President Yang finally makes it so that crime doesn't pay. Everybody says crime doesn't pay, but it's crap. Crime pays a lot. That's why there's criminals. But that's going to stop now. You know, it's going to be much harder to stubbornly and stupidly remain in a criminal enterprise. You know, just to begin with, you know, people who are homeless and can't cook and who are opting into their freedom dividend, they aren't going to want their food stamps anymore, because you can't spend the food stamps on the power bill when you need to. So, you know, the homeless who can't cook or need money more than they need food stamps, they won't be selling their SNAP card to the local drug dealers and pimps for 50 cents on the taxpayer dollar. That's the going rate, 50 cents on the dollar. That's what my abuser buys his food stamps for, you know, and it's the easiest market. You know, you buy your food stamps card, you get some cheap snacks, you sell the snacks for cash, and hey, it's a business. Blah. It's over now, suckers. You know, the freedom dividend is going to go to freedom. It's not going to go to fueling criminal enterprises, and it's not going to go to waste. It's going to go to utilization, and it's going to go to getting people out of the city and into a small town that needs rejuvenation. I mean, what a novel concept. You know, benefits aren't going to someone who can't use them, and food stamps won't fuel criminal enterprises. And we'll be able to build up without being punished for doing so. So, I mean, welcome to Utopia. I'm sitting here, it's September 9th, 2019, in a year and a half, when President Yang has all his policies starting to roll out, because we're going to demand them after we elect him. This is, oh man, you guys, it's coming, you guys. This is going to be so epic. And man, thank you for joining me for this article and this video. And, you know, thank you for visiting my Patreon and Twitter and Simple Sites. And, you know, thank you for being, you know, morally or financially supportive of Operation Freedom 32, because this is how I'm getting out of abuse and keeping my son safe. And President Yang is going to make it so much easier for so many more of us. You know, so thank you guys for being part of it and for hanging out. I hope to talk to y'all again soon. So, you know, like I said, please feel free to hit the like and subscribe buttons. I'd totally appreciate that. You know, any commentary you feel like leaving on this video or on my Twitter or any place, you know, reach out and talk to me. And, you know, have a blessed day, and let's let Operation Freedom roll out for the entire United States. Let us all become the United States again. You know, let's make America think harder. Way